Hello everyone, welcome back to Jikook Moments. Imagine being in the middle of a sea of ARMY, the sound of cheers echoing endlessly, and on stage, it's not just an incredible performance unfolding, but also a series of unexpected moments that seem to make the whole world pause for a second. The first day of BTS's concert in Mexico wasn't just a grand show. It was a night where every glance, every smile, and every small interaction felt far deeper than simple fan service. And what caught the most attention? The interactions between Jimin and Jungkook that felt so real, spontaneous, and almost too intense to ignore. From exchanging smiles during Dynamite, to a small push that looked playful but carried meaning, to stage actions that made the entire stadium explode, this night became something more than just a concert. This is a story about chemistry, emotion, and a connection that simply can't be fabricated. And in this video, we're going to break down all those moments, one by one. The first day of BTS's concert in Mexico turned into a night that was nearly impossible to forget. Not just because of its massive production scale, but because of the small details that felt the most real and left a lasting impression on fans. From the very first second, the atmosphere in the venue was filled with electrifying energy. A sea of ARMY united in roaring cheers, creating waves of emotion that seemed limitless. Their voices rose and fell like tides, welcoming the 7 long-awaited figures with pure enthusiasm. And when they finally appeared on stage, bringing their signature charisma, strength, and warmth, the entire arena seemed wrapped in a shared feeling that this night would be something special. Their performance was nearly flawless. Every movement felt precise, every vocal carried deep emotion, and every transition between songs reflected years of professionalism. But behind that perfection, there was one element that kept stealing the spotlight, something unplanned, unscripted, yet the most alive. The interaction between Jimin and Jungkook, widely known by fans as Jikook. From the start of the concert, the two seemed to be on the same wavelength. There was a comfort that was hard to explain, as if they were simply enjoying every moment together without overthinking it. This became even more evident during Dynamite. A song known for its bright energy felt like it carried an extra emotional layer that night. The smiles they exchanged weren't just part of choreography or stage demands. They looked genuine, warm, and deeply personal. Their eyes met several times, and each small moment instantly triggered massive reactions from the crowd. In seconds, thousands cheered, as if they understood they weren't just watching a performance, but witnessing a real connection. Not long after, a small moment happened, yet it became widely talked about. Jimin lightly pushed Jungkook backward. The gesture was simple, almost like a spontaneous joke without much meaning. But that's exactly where its charm lay. Some saw it as playful teasing, while others viewed it as a sign of closeness so natural that personal boundaries felt fluid. Interestingly, despite the playful distance, they still showed their closeness without hesitation. It was as if that interaction was their own language, one that could only be fully understood through the bond they've built over time. The next moment felt even lighter and more entertaining. While singing, they started pointing at each other with energetic expressions. It looked spontaneous, as if the massive stage suddenly turned into a small space just for the two of them. The audience got swept into the mood, laughing and cheering, enjoying their natural chemistry. For a few seconds, all attention seemed focused solely on them, even though the other 6 members were still present and performing. The reactions from the other members added another layer of charm. There were genuine looks of confusion, restrained laughter, and attempts to understand what was actually happening between the two. All of this created a unique balance between playful chaos and heartfelt friendship. Moments like these revealed their human side, far from the flawless image often seen from the outside. Then came one of the most iconic moments of the night. Jungkook suddenly lifted his shirt on stage, a spontaneous act that instantly triggered an explosion of screams throughout the arena. But what made it truly memorable wasn't just the action, it was Jimin's reaction. In seconds, his expression shifted, from shock to a mix of emotions that were hard to define. There was shyness, admiration, and a hint of playful protest that came off as incredibly endearing. It felt raw and genuine, as if the audience was allowed to witness a rare, unfiltered side of him. When Jungkook repeated the action, this time with a more personal direction, the atmosphere grew even more intense. The energy in the venue surged, and once again, all attention centered on the two of them. There was an intensity that couldn't be ignored, a dynamic that made the audience feel emotionally involved in every second unfolding on stage. The peak came unexpectedly. Jungkook stepped forward from behind Jimin and suddenly lifted Jimin's shirt as well. In an instant, the entire arena erupted in screams. The reaction was massive, like a wave of euphoria shaking the venue. It felt like the climax of all the spontaneous interactions that had been building since the beginning, a moment where energy, chemistry, and boldness merged into one. But not all moments had to be grand to leave a deep impression. There were also small interactions that felt incredibly relatable. When they sat side by side, the situation initially seemed normal. Namjoon appeared to want to sit between them, but Jimin casually blocked him with his leg. That simple act immediately sparked laughter. Jungkook then tried to imitate it in the same style, making the moment even funnier. In the end, Namjoon stepped in to resolve it and managed to sit between them. This moment felt like a small glimpse into their friendship dynamics. Natural, warm, and full of humor. Overall, the first day of the concert wasn't just a musical performance. It was a complete emotional experience about connection, togetherness, and honesty in small moments. BTS didn't just showcase their abilities as world-class performers, but also revealed themselves as people who laugh, joke, and support one another. Amid the grandeur of the production, it was the simple interactions that stood out the most. Genuine smiles, meaningful glances, and unplanned playful moments all became part of a bigger story. That night, the grand stage transformed into something intimate, where every emotion was conveyed clearly without needing to be hidden. More than that, the concert created a sense of unity that's hard to put into words. Thousands of people from different backgrounds gathered with one shared purpose, celebrating music and feeling the connection created by 7 people on stage. There were moments when the entire venue sang together, their voices blending into a harmony that wasn't perfect, but felt incredibly beautiful. In those moments, the line between artist and audience seemed to disappear. What remained was a sense of connection, as if everyone present became part of the same story. Even as the concert came to an end, the energy of the night didn't truly fade. It lingered in the air, in memories, and in the hearts of everyone there. Many stayed, reluctant to leave, trying to hold onto every second they had just experienced. There were smiles, tears, and an overwhelming sense of emotion, a mixture that can only come from something truly genuine. And maybe that's where the real magic lies. Not in the stage lights or the thunderous music, but in the connections that feel real. In moments that can never be recreated in the same way. In warmth that isn't staged, but naturally exists between them. In the end, this concert wasn't just about music, choreography, or a spectacular production. What truly stayed were the small moments, the lingering glances, the honest laughter, and the interactions that felt so close, as if we were all part of it. Jikook once again showed that behind the grand stage, there's something far simpler yet powerful, a connection that doesn't need explanation, because everyone can feel it. And maybe, that's why this night is so hard to forget. If you felt the same way, don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Which moment made it impossible for you to move on? Thank you for watching, and see you in the next Jikook Moments video.